quick, and we're going to start with Microsoft Word. All right. So you all should be able to see my screen now. And what I'm going to do here is when Word opens, you're immediately going to get this draft with Copilot box that appears. And in here, excuse me, it's going to say, describe what you'd like to write, including notes or an outline, and Copilot can generate a draft to help get you started. Now, this is just like any other large language model. We could have it completely generate fake data in here. And what I mean by that is I could say, create fake meeting notes for a company called Acme Consumer Inc. Regarding the construction of a new factory in New Mexico. Include those who attended, an agenda, and some to-dos at the bottom. And then I'm just going to say generate. So Copilot is going to go, it's going to take all of the data that it knows about New Mexico, construction about plants, about factories, and it's going to actually construct a document based around the prompt that I just put in here. So we're just going to give it a second to create that prompt, and I could have even give it some more things to generate that prompt. I could have said, hey, at a minimum, I need this document to be 2 pages, or I need one of the attendees to be Wile E. Coyote. So right here, excuse me, I'm choked up. Right in front of us, we can watch Copilot create the document as if it was typing right here. So again, we just need to give it a little bit of time to create that document, and you don't even have to have Word open while you're waiting for this to occur. Generating fake meeting notes is probably not something that you're going to be doing in your day-to-day, but what I'm about to show you, what we do with this fake document, you very likely would do in your day-to-day. So let's say there was somebody at the meeting taking notes, and they've got this document. We're going to keep this draft for right now. This document, this is great. This tells us exactly what it is that we need to know, but there's a few things about it that we could change. We could make it longer. We could make it more concise. One of the great things that Copilot is able to do for you, and this is across all of the Copilot suite for just about any application, is it can take all of the data in this document and summarize it for us. Now, obviously, there's already a summary. Whoever was taking the meeting notes did that for us, but we need to condense it even further, something that we could put into a singular paragraph. So I'm just going to hit this Copilot button in the top right corner, and Copilot knows everything about this document. It's able to see the contents of it. So what I can say is, I don't even have to type in anything here. I could just click on this button. These are some suggestions that you'll get at the bottom of the document. And it just says, summarize this doc. So I'm going to do that here. Just looking the document over. And again, this is all happening in real time, so it is going to take a couple of seconds for it to actually parse the data in the document and come up with a conclusion. Well, it was giving a summary and then it just decided to stop. So let's try that one more time. Let's say in one paragraph. There is a such thing called a demo curse, which is you practice something, preparing for like a demonstration, and then all of a sudden during the demonstration it just decides it's not going to work.
See, I was thinking Copilot was worried about a Warner Brothers copyright strike or something.
They are pretty litigious. That probably could have been the case. But yeah, you can see right here, even with the summary included in the document, it was able to come up with something that we could probably just copy and paste into maybe a Teams chat, into an email in Outlook, anything right there. And it even gives follow-up prompts. So make the summary shorter, or maybe, hey, expand on that. Let's say that we wanted some specific information about one part of the document. Well, rather than going through the document ourselves, let's say this was 30 pages long. Well, instead of going through here and maybe having to do Control F and finding keywords, you didn't take these notes, or maybe you did take the notes, but it's 30 pages long. Who's going to remember all of that? You could just say in here, what are the key points regarding price when it comes to the new construction? Copilot will parse through the data again and spit out the information that you're looking for. So in this case, it should, I think I saw in here, project on track with an allocated budget of 50 million. So it should give us an answer about that. According to the document, the key point regarding the price of the new construction is that the project is on track and within an allocated budget of 50 million. So Copilot for Word is capable of some pretty strong stuff. Um, I showed off in the first webinar that it's able to directly alter the document as well, and I can show that off here. So let's say these action items right here. I'm going to highlight these action items, kind of these to-dos, and I'm going to click on this Copilot button that shows up in the bottom left corner. I'm going to say rewrite with Copilot. So it's going to take, oh, sorry, it doesn't like bullet points. So I'm going to actually remove these bullet points real quick from this to-do list. There are some limitations of Copilot. Microsoft is updating it all of the time, but in this case, it's not able to manipulate data to say that is very formatted. So I just removed the bullet points, and I'm going to say, hey, rewrite these action items for me, Copilot. And here it is. They are the same thing, and I would always suggest that you read over what was the original content and the revised statement from Copilot. But it should be the same thing, just worded in a different way. And the great part too is that Copilot gives us multiple options for the rewrite. You can click up here, you can see 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, and we can choose which one that we like. We even have more options here. We can adjust the tone of the rewrite. So right now it's in a neutral tone, but let's say we wanted it to be in a professional tone. All we have to do is click professional and regenerate. And you can keep altering the output that it gives. So here it's given us 2 drafts, so we could pick from this one. This is already pretty professional. You can do some pretty goofy stuff if you keep adjusting the tone of what it is that you're working with. So we could say that we want it to be even more professional and regenerate that. You can see the same thing in Teams. Walker's going to demonstrate that in a little while. So all we have to do is, if we like this, we'll say replace, and it directly alters the document right in front of us. So that was just some demonstrations of what Copilot is capable of doing within Teams. The summarization is really key. That is a big part of what Word documents can be many, many pages long, and maybe we just need the top 5 key points from each one of them. And so Copilot is very capable of doing that for us. I'm actually going to take the output of what we got here, and I am going to paste that into a OneNote document. OneNote, also a very popular tool for doing meeting notes. And let's actually get rid of the action items part. Let's say that we didn't have somebody who was creating to-dos for this meeting. Well, you can see in the top right corner, we also have the Copilot button, just like in Word. Here it is. And we can do the same kinds of stuff in OneNote that we did in Word, or sorry, in OneNote that we did in Word. We can ask it to summarize the document. We could ask it to create a list of to-dos, or OneNote has some pretty cool functionality. We can actually just highlight everything that we want Copilot to interact with, right-click on it, and there are summarize, to-do, and rewrite buttons. So let's go ahead and hit the to-do button here. You can see it's extracting a to-do list. And at the very top of the document, we could just move this to the bottom if we wanted to. It has created a list of items and who should be responsible for them. So Anna needs to take care of handling the environmental and regulatory issues, for example. Sam Brown needs to oversee the engineering and construction of the factory, for example. And again, we can come over here, we can ask it questions. What are some concerns that we should have when doing industrial construction in New Mexico? This isn't information that is currently in the document, but Copilot has a large data set of information. And so it's actually going to be able to give you some information, maybe some things that you need to be concerned about with a project like this. And we could actually insert that content into our document once we've confirmed the validity and the sources. So, and it says right here, this response isn't based on the current section. That's okay. It's got a large amount of knowledge that it's now giving to us. Realize I'm moving along here pretty quick, guys, but it's just because we've got a limited amount of time, and we want to be able to show you kind of a little bit of something from every application. So next, I want to show you a little bit about Outlook, and that's going to require me to stop sharing my screen and reshare it real quick. So I will stop sharing.